Inviting me to bring the keynote as a keynote speaker. And how many of you love Rudy's Christmas parties? Well, the theme of our event today is Your Greater is Coming. Can I have everybody say it together? Your Greater is Coming. Can you say it to somebody next to you? Your Greater is Coming 2024. In the invitation letter, it says greater joy. How many wants greater joy? Greater success? Greater opportunities? Greater relationships? And your greater is coming. That's in the invitation letter. So life is a journey often filled with challenges, obstacles, and moments of uncertainty. At times, it might feel like you're stuck in a storm, battling against the winds of adversity. But I want you to remember this. Storms don't last forever, and after every storm, there's a calm, and after every night, there's a new dawn. In the midst of your struggles, it's crucial to hold onto the belief that your greater is coming. It's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture when faced with difficulties, but these challenges are not the end of your story. They are merely chapters preparing you for the greatness that lies ahead. Think of the acorn, seemingly small and insignificant. Yet within it, it holds the potential to become a mighty oak tree. Your life too is filled with potential waiting to be unleashed. Your dreams, aspirations, and the essence of who you are, these are the seeds that will blossom into something extraordinary. Sometimes the road to greatness is winding and filled with twists and turns. It requires perseverance, resilience, and the unwavering belief that you are destined for something more. It demands that you trust the process and have faith in your own abilities. Your greater is not a distant fantasy, it's a reality that gradually unfolding. It might be disguised as a learning experience, a setback, or even a moment of stillness. Embrace these moments, for they are shaping you, molding you into the person that you are meant to become. In the face of adversity, remember that diamonds are formed under pressure. You are being refined and polished to shine even brighter, and each challenge you overcome is a stepping stone towards your greater purpose. In conclusion, let this be a reminder that storms may rage, but they will pass. Your greater is on the horizon, and as you continue to navigate life's journey, embrace the challenges, celebrate the victories, and trust that the best is yet to come. I'm sorry to disappoint, but just now I got that speech from ChatGPT. All I did was I typed in, create a speech on your greater is coming. You can try it yourself, and that's what you're gonna get. Sorry if you're just getting started to be inspired. Isn't anything sacred anymore? I'm a pastor, and ChatGPT can replace my sermons already. Am I obsolete? How about you? Will technology replace you? Especially in challenging times like right now. It's been a brutal year for most, to say the least. The National Association of Realtors says that 1 million realtors are quitting this year, has already left the business. Is there anything real that undergird this statement tonight that your greater is coming? Well, that's why I'm here. I want to say yes to that question, because there's an ancient book called the Bible, and in it there's a book called Mark chapter 9 verse 35. Jesus said, if anyone wants to be first, he shall be last of all and servant of all. You know, at Jesus' words, the disciples were ashamed and did not answer, because on the road they had been disputing over their own greatness while Jesus had been talking about giving himself. Do you know that in the final moments of his completion of his mission on earth, Jesus celebrated with a dinner? Maybe much like tonight, we gather and have a meal to celebrate what was accomplished. But instead of handing out awards and giving applauses, he did something very revolutionary. In John chapter 13, verse 3, This is what it says. Jesus knew that the Father had put all things under his power and that he had come from God and was returning to God. So this, what I'm going to say next, comes from a knowledge and position of power. He knows who he is, right? Verse 4. So he got up from the meal, took off his outer clothing, and wrapped a towel around his waist. After that, he poured water into a basin and began to wash his disciples' feet, drying them with a towel that was wrapped around him. That was complete opposite of what people expected of him. After all, he was the leader. He was the leader, and surely everyone should serve instead of him. Plus, the washing of feet was reserved for the lowest of the lowest servants, not just any servant. You see, those days, streets were very dusty. Mode of transportation is basically animals, camels, donkeys, horses. And these animals do not emit greenhouse gases. They basically put droppings on the road, right? And people wear open sandals, so their feet are really gross. Then in verse 14 he said, now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you should also wash one another's feet. So here are the things that Jesus taught. So 3 things. Number 1, Jesus took a different posture. If you want your future to be greater, here's a suggestion from me. Jesus took a different posture. By washing his disciples' feet, Jesus challenges to take a different posture in our relationship with one another. The posture of a servant who is willing to submit and shame himself for the good of others. You know, society teaches us to constantly compare ourselves to others to see how we measure up. We compare our wealth, education, physical appearance, careers, to see where we fit in the pecking order. And then we treat each other accordingly. We treat those who are quote-unquote above us with special honor and respect, and we expect those who are quote-unquote below us to give us special treatment. However, Jesus flips this norm on its head by taking the posture of a servant and instructing his followers to do the same. So regardless of where we fit in the social pecking order, Jesus challenges us to take the posture of a servant, to submit ourselves for the good of others. And second, Jesus follows a different pattern. The world presents all kinds of patterns and examples on how we are to treat each other. One significant pattern is the social ladder. We are told to climb the social ladder so we can have more power and significance. But Jesus teaches us to follow a different pattern, one that is more accurately reflected in a stool, a servant stool, not a ladder, something that servants use to serve others. In Matthew 20:25, Jesus called them together and said, you know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to be great among you must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be your slave. I'm a client here at Your Home's Hope. Right now, I have a house listed, and I just want to tell you that has been actually my experience with Christy and Vitria. I mean, they went out of their way. I mean, extra mile service. I thought the house that we're selling is already staged perfectly, but when it didn't sell for a couple of weeks, they went out of their way to restage it with their own stuff. So I don't know what happened with their own house, but that's what they did. This is the kind of spirit that I found in this company. Society teaches us that being successful requires us to climb the social ladder. But if all of us are climbing a ladder, then there are people above you and people below you. The higher you climb, the more people you have underneath you. That means that the goal is to be above others in prominence, power, and social rank. This also teaches us to view other people either above us or below us. Jesus, however, tells us that those who desire to be great in the kingdom must become a servant. And whoever wishes to be first must become last. While While a ladder is used to elevate ourselves, a stool is used to lower ourselves. So, the last thing I want to say, Jesus gave us a different promise. And the promise is this. John 13:17, now that you know that these things, you will be blessed if you do them. You will be blessed if you do them. There is a greater tomorrow. There is a greater blessing waiting for you. But it doesn't come from the world. It comes from the Lord. It comes from God. And He gives us to those. He gives that blessing to those who are willing to humble themselves. So serve, go serve big, everybody, and Merry Christmas. God bless you.